Off. We are now live. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
It is 8 o'clock. It is Sunday. It is time for Doctor Who, as is every Sunday. Good evening. So, 8 o'clock. It is Sunday. What's happening? Why can I? As is every Sunday. Good evening. Oh dear me. Oh, you have to love technology.
Yeah, that's you, not me.
I know. It's all coming from this end. Trust me, I know. Yeah, so it's Sunday, 8 o'clock. We're doing 11th Hour this week. Matt Smith takes over as the Doctor for his run in the TARDIS. 11th Hour is my favourite regeneration episode. I know, Chris, that I don't know how this ranks with you, but for me, I think it's probably the best one they've done. What do you think of this episode before we get into it?
Yeah, it is a very strong episode.
Yeah, it's a good solid Doctor Who episode. But where would you rank it in sort of like the regeneration episodes though overall?
Just thinking mentally through them all. See, my favourite regeneration episode is probably still Robot, through nostalgia glasses. But if you're talking story and technical wise, then this is up there with the Christmas Invasion for me.
Yeah, it is very good. And I can see that Ian has joined us. Hi guys, seem to have the same error as last week, but I think it's my end. Well, Chris did post another working link in the chat, so it should, if you can give that a link a go and see if we can get somewhere.
Well, I've just clicked on that link again, and it's told me I'm about to join a Hangout on air. I won't do that because otherwise they'll be told me. But it does work.
So yeah, okay. So what I like and why I like this particular Doctor Who regeneration episode above all the others, Power of the Daleks I think is a great episode, a regeneration episode. Even the Doctor Who movie, for what it is in the way that it delivers the exposition of the character, is a really good way a through way to get somebody into Doctor Who. But what I like with the 11th Hour is that it's a good cold starter. That you could be not know anything about Doctor Who whatsoever, sit down and watch that episode, and it's a very good jumping on point. But it's not only that; it's got almost everything that you can ask for Doctor Who in the one story. You've got the regeneration. You've got two regenerations technically, because the TARDIS regenerates. You've got time travel, which is what you want, because he's back and forth through time, and which doesn't really happen a lot in Doctor Who. Normally, he lands the TARDIS somewhere, and that's the way the entire episode takes place. But in the 11th Hour, there's jumping about through time. And you've got aliens. You've got interdimensional doorways. You've got the start of what is one of the best story arcs. And you've got the introduction of a new companion. It's absolutely everything in there. And that's why I think it's probably the best regeneration episode, is because it is that loaded, and it's got a good cast. It's got a great cast, in fact. That's where I stand with the episode. I think it's a great Doctor Who story. It's a great way to introduce the new Doctor as well. Because, you're talking about an episode that has a come down from David Tennant. David Tennant, that was a wallop. That was one hell of a... Because they went big with David Tennant before the end, and like saying goodbye to David Tennant as the Doctor was a punch in the gut. For me anyway, and I don't know for a lot of people it was.
I'll tell you one thing in this episode that I liked, that they I thought they was going to continue doing, but they didn't really.
Yeah.
Was I'm sure there's a bit where Rory stood in the park, and he has kind of a Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes moment.
Oh, you mean
Doctor
the stop animation with the camera?
Yeah, but I thought that was something they were going to continue through the series, but they didn't really.
No, they didn't do it. It was. I mean, I guess that was the directorial choice. So I would have said that would be a director's choice over a what? Yeah, wait. I would have said that would be a director's choice over a production choice. So I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying though. It is so stylistically, such a stylistic choice of what to do with that when when the Doctor thinks about something that he's like, oh right, he's trying to piece it all together. That you'd think that every time he was going to do that throughout that series, that you'd see something similar, and you never saw it again. There were moments whereby the Doctor had those sorts of flashes, but you never saw it through his eyes. Maybe it was a time thing, because shooting something like that would take a long time. And it would take a long time. I'm almost ready to go. I'm just trying to. Yes, I know it's So basically, with my 5th series box set missing, what I'm going to attempt is I've got my pad running. I said reload. I've got my pad running, I've got the Hangout running, I've got the YouTube going, and I'm about to stream Doctor Who on Netflix. This is going to see whether or not my BT Broadband Unlimited is what it claims.
Oh dear.
Oh yeah. So
I sense white screens and blue smoke.
I should wake up tomorrow with a strongly worded letter from BT going, stop taking the mech. So yes, I think all we can do really is really just get into it. Let's have a look before. I mean, look, this episode's got a great cast. Just before we're about to begin, we're going to try a different browser. Okay, Ian. Look, if you can't get in, we have to work something. We have to jump in on a Saturday or something and give something a go at a different point before we go live. But if you just want to jump in on the chat there, that's fine. Let's have a look here. So yeah, great cast. Annette Crosby, obviously Olivia Colman, Academy Award winner Olivia Colman. Yeah, it's just a. The other one was it Tom Hopper as Jeff? He's now got his own show on Netflix as well, hasn't he? What's it called? Umbrella or something like that. It's called, I think. So yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people out of this have done pretty well for themselves. Let's have a look. I want to get to. Oh God. Do I dare click this? Come on.
Anyone way to find out?
Oh, it says see more. Do I click on it? Oh, good grief. Here we go. So, yeah, there's not a whole lot to say about 11th Hour, except for the fact that really, obviously when they were casting 11th Hour, at the same time they were casting 11th Hour, they were also casting Sherlock. And they cast Matt Smith and Benedict Cumberbatch at the same time. And I think it's fairly obvious that Stephen Moffat was kind of umming and ahhing as to which one was going to go where. And when you watch the first sort of episode, I think it was called something in pink of Sherlock, it's fairly obvious that Matt Smith and Benedict Cumberbatch at that point are kind of interchangeable. You could have had Benedict Cumberbatch as the 11th Doctor and Matt Smith as Sherlock, and I don't think nobody would have been any the wiser. So So look, yeah. Let's scroll across. Right, I think all we can do is just actually give this a go and see if it works. So I'm about to click go on the 11th hour. Here we go. Load in, load in, load in. We didn't have that before. Huzzah! Good opener as well. Because I didn't know where it was going to go from the TARDIS exploding.
Bloody good version of the theme tune as well.
Oh, it's cracking. Absolutely cracking. I love the opening fanfare. I love the time vortex. The time vortex, I don't think has looked better. They did a cracking job in Twice Upon a Time, which I thought was really nice when they showed the original TARDIS going up the corridor. I thought that was beautiful. But I really do like the sort of the cloud look to the time vortex. I mean, it is an interesting choice that they went with Matt Smith, somebody you know, as young as he was for the Doctor. Yeah. Here we go. The first time I heard this, I didn't know what to make of it because I didn't know what they were doing, but it just works so well for the Doctor Who theme to have this ramp up into the theme, and the pace of it. The pace of it is so good.
Good logo as well.
Everything's strong. There's not really a whole. And they ever come up with the idea that the TARDIS would be there in the middle and turn into the actual into the DW. That's really clever. There's lots of good stuff. But like I got this opening shot now with the house, and again this is one of those stories that I like about Doctor Who, whereby you've literally got seems to have something to do with cookies. You'd have to see the Cookie Monster. I don't know. I'm stuck on YouTube comments again. I mean, Chris got on here from going directly through Hangouts, so I think that's how you got on here, Chris.
Yeah, it is. That's how I did it on my phone. But the link I posted in the comments, that worked straight away.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you've got to be logged in. I have no clue. Nobody. Okay, yeah, no problems here. Yeah, one of the things I really like about this story is that it's very much what Doctor Who can do well, which is, we talked about this before, whereby you can do a story as big as the universe, and then do a story that's set in somebody's back garden, and this is literally both, really. It's literally set in somebody's garden, and then the consequence is going to be that the world is going to be purged. And I was really sort of curious as to what they were going to do with the box as well, because they show the box all crashed, but then all the windows are blown out. I know they had to rehinge the TARDIS because the doors didn't open up once. So to do this shot, they had to literally take it apart and rehinge it. And that, of course, is what they call box B34. Useless piece of information, even if you knew what B34 was. So yeah, at this point they had two boxes, and one was called box A12 and the other was called box B34. And this is I think this is probably the last appearance of box B34 till Day of the Doctor. Can't see any link in comments. See, I don't know. Maybe let me see if I can.
I just posted it again.
Yeah, but
So is a swimming pool. You a policeman? Why? Do you call a policeman? Did you come and make the crack of my wall? What crack?
Well, no, this is going to make you feel old as well. I think she's about 24 now.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. Oh, of course, Karen Gillan's cousin. Playing Karen Gillan, sort of.
Don't have to lose. I'm the doctor. For everything I tell you, don't ask stupid questions. I don't want her off.
The thing is, with Matt Smith, I know that was a scripted pratfall, but he is such a natural klutz that even simple things seem complex. I couldn't tell. I know, like, it's a weird thing, but I didn't know. I tell you what this scene actually reminds me of. So he's standing there, he's soaking wet because he said he fell in the pool, right? But if you remember the very first Bill Bixby Incredible Hulk, the night after his first transformation, he is soaking wet with sweat, and he is trying to eat and drink everything. He's incredibly thirsty because his body's gone through a massive change. And that's what this reminds me of. It's just got that sort of same sort of vibe to it. His body is craving stuff because he's gone through a massive change, and he just doesn't know what. And he did. It's weird to say, but he did have a weird face. The first time you saw Matt Smith, it was like, I can't believe he's an alien.
Well, he's definitely different.
Well, I mean, he's just like, yeah, he was just so different to all the other doctors that you were expecting. So, I mean, when they showed up, because I think the first picture they released of him was him in his jeans and his black shirt standing outside the TARDIS. And it was just like, there was this sort of, I don't know, a Grease feel to him, I guess. A sort of a Danny Zuko kind of vibe. It's just like, oh God, please tell me no. And of course I saw this and it was just like, he knows it.
I noticed the other day on the memories on Facebook that come up that I'd posted at, must have been the night this went out, that I really fancied fish fingers and custard. So it made an impression on me.
I can't remember what it was he was eating there. Because I know it's not actually fish fingers. I can't remember what it was.
I don't even have an aunt. You're lucky. So you're aunt? And she?
I like this little setup here as well between him and Amelia. It's really good.
Of course you're not. You're not scared of anything.
It's this line here.
The guy man pulls out of the box, man eats fish custard. And look at you. You're sitting there. You know what I think? What? You had a scary crack in your wall.
Boom! There we are. Sold. It's how she's got him. His curiosity is just, and it's the way he reasons it out. It's really good. We're going to talk as well about the fact that this is also Stephen Moffat's first run as showrunner. And a cracking job. Yeah, I was a little bit confused as to sort of what actually supposed to have happened, whether or not her parents had been attacked by Prisoner Zero.
You want me to tell you why, miss? You know what crack is? What? It's crack. I'll tell you something funny. If you knock this wall down, crack will stay put because the crack. Whoa.
Good sci-fi concept as well. Really, just absolutely clever stuff. You know, to have a crack that's in the universe as opposed to actually being, for it to be an interdimensional crack as opposed to being a physical crack in normal space. I think they could have done something a bit more with the Atraxi as well. For later in the series, you know, not necessarily for not necessarily season 5, but I think for the wrap up for his, you know, when he does what is it, Time of the Doctor, we have all the people sort of gathering around the planet, Trenzalore. I think they could have had the Atraxi there as well. I think that would have been a nice little addition to have them try to attack the Doctor. I mean, they've got reason to.
Young grown-ups tell you everything's going to be fine, and you think they're probably lying to make you feel better. Everything's fine.
He's got such a stone face about him. And underappreciated, I think. Coming off the back of David Tennant, you can understand why, but he's still, every single time I watch his run as the Doctor, he just does better and better and better.
That's very nearly a bat signal on the wall.
Do you know, I actually had one of the, I built myself a crack. It sounds weird, but I did. I built myself one of those cracks. And I had it built out of foam core and actually had a strip LED behind it so it all lit up. And I kept it for a while. And it was the only, when I was getting rid of things, I thought, right, I can get rid of this now. It's that part of Doctor Who's all. It was a nice little sort of wall plaque thing to have. And I also had the crack corner piece of the TARDIS door. I think what works as well, really well with Amelia, in particular with Amy, is the fact that what caught me with Amy was the whole curiosity thing. Like when later on, when it's Karen Gillan in the part, the character is constantly looking and curious and doing stuff, and it's I think what's what made her very attractive as a companion. Apart from the fact that she was very attractive, still is. But she was very curious about what was happening with the Doctor, with what he was doing, with what was going on, what the situation was. She was always looking, and she was a keen companion. She wasn't just willing to ask questions; she wanted to see herself. Okay, Stephen Moffat found his way into the 11th Doctor's character by tapping into A.A. Milne's the house at Pooh Corner, specifically the scene where Dale claims to love a variety of food, only to react to the vulture after being presented with each one. Yes, I knew that. It's the bit where he's throwing stuff out, yeah.
Ian sent you a crack, mate.
I did a book cover for the crack. I used my hand. Just send it to you. Oh, thank you very much. I'm appreciative of anybody sending me the crack. Oh dear. So many jokes. Oh, I'm trying to get things on my pad here now, but clearly it's having a nightmare.
Standard Sunday.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I know that when they chose the house, that they chose the house because they wanted something that looked almost like a sort of an isolated, sort of not so much like a castle, but like they were looking for that sort of haunted house kind of look to it, so that when they go back, there's a very. It's almost like the house or a Blink kind of thing, but you know it can look both like a very nice place to live, and somewhere that's slightly creepy. And it definitely does it well. The other thing to know about this as well is that it was at this point that they started changing up the cameras as well. So they weren't filming on the same cameras they'd shot on the previous seasons. And I think you can notice the difference. There's a certain jump in the look of it. Chrome isn't responding. It's interesting that they decided to do the safe stuff in the night and the creepy stuff in the day. That's an interesting switch. Because normally, you know, with sort of this sort of suspense horror type thriller stuff, you normally do the creepy stuff in the night. First time I saw this, I thought that was going to be the same hospital that Purged was in, but it's not.
That would have been a nice touch.
I think it would have been as well, but it's not. So, but I think it would have been. You know, if he keeps ending up, you know, sort of in Totter's Yard in Coal Hill School, and then keep ending up in that particular hospital, I think that would be nice.
Then why are you wasting my time?
This is where the episode kind of shows this age, whereby she says, you know, why are you handing me your phone? And he goes, well, it's also a camera. It's like, oh God. how fast things have moved on. For people to not know that a phone has a camera on it. That woman lying in the bed there just won an Academy Award, people. Anyway, I love Olivia Colman. I absolutely think she's brilliant.
Oi, you sit still.
Can I be the first one to say ding dong?
Oh, man. Policewoman costumes went up in the startling amounts.
Did you know that there is a particular type of film parody of this series? And the woman they've got in that playing Amy, even though she's wearing a wig, is almost a dead spit of Karen Gillan.
Really?
Don't ask how I know that.
I seen her with a stunt double on Guardians of the Galaxy, and apparently she's very difficult to double because just because she's also tall, and they normally find it very because she's got a particular body type. You know, she's kind of wiry.
Live is the word.
Well, I mean, she's tall, she's slender, so she's very difficult to double.
Dr. Carver told me about your conversation. We've been very patient with you, Rory. You're a good enough nurse.
She's great in the Guardians of the Galaxy films.
Oh, she's absolutely staggering. But again, Hollywood found it very difficult to find a stunt double that was similar to her. And she, even when they're standing side by side, she's she's up to her on Karen Gillan, you know.
I need to take some time off, Rory. A lot of time off. Start now. Now.
Yeah.
This house right now. I live here.
There.
Please. Yes, so this is where I live. You got
Come on, you can do it. No, I can't. Well, that's the end of that matter. And a picture of River's life. Could you pass both on, please?
6.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Ah, nice little bit. There's a little more there where they trombone the lens of the camera, and you don't really see it. They cut it just as they start the trombone, and it's such a nice little effect. Don't go open that door. Don't walk in that room. It's what makes her a good companion. There's a line that gets overlooked. Do I have a face that nobody listens to again? So yeah.
Must have rolled under the door. Yeah.
Interesting. The Doctor's new companion had originally been called Lucy Sparrow, but was changed to Amy Pond. That comes back. Yes, the story reveals that some Samsung screws were created by the TARDIS. Yeah, it's like the 3rd and 8th Doctor takes his clothes from a hospital. But he also gets changed at some point as well, so he also changes into his new clothes. And I do really like, I think it's probably the costume that he wears in the Snowman, where he gets that sort of purple jacket. And the top hat as well. I think that's probably his best look. So yeah. Adam Smith was attracted to the brilliant script and working with Matt Smith after seeing him on stage. Smith was asked to direct the same, but make it a bit different. The producers didn't want it radically different, but they did want it different. The goal was to make it more cinematic, magical, and took inspiration from E.T. the Extraterrestrial. So there we are. And boy, do you get orders. He doesn't just own our house, he owns the street. The working title of this episode was The Doctor Returns. Production was hampered by torrential rain. Really?
I'm sorry.
You know where we found? I mean, come on. Plan around it.
Got the voice a bit muddled, did you? Where'd you get the pattern from? Psychically, live feed. How do you fix that?
A small sign in front of the fire engine the Doctor drives reads Saxon, a reference to season 3. Nice little things.
That boy needs to visit a dentist.
Yeah. But we are no threat. Again, we do have backup. I love it.
How good would it have been if that big voice had actually been done by Tom Baker?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, James Earl Jones. Oh, Brian Blessed, he wouldn't have needed a microphone.
Just an asthma pump.
Oh, man. Anyone who punches a polar bear deserves respect. I like the fact that I like the fact that the TARDIS regenerates the same way that the Doctor does. Time Lord technology, grown TARDIS makes sense. I wish we had seen something of it though.
You said 6 months. Why did you say 6 months? This matters. This is important. Why did you say 6 months? Why did you say 5 minutes? Come on.
It's a good little thing as well. A good little moment because it's a moment that reminds you that he's generally not very good at flying the TARDIS. You know, if he gets the right coordinates, he gets the wrong time. If he gets the right time, he probably gets the wrong place.
You're like 12 years. You haven't been with a cricket bat. 12 years. A cricket bat. 12 years. I'm for a psychiatrist. I can't fight him. Why?
There's almost everything in this episode that I have very difficulty picking fault with. The way that the aliens adapt the technology so that they use speakers, that's a callback to The Empty Child, where they use that technology that can override, make broadcast to any speaker, which is why the phone in the TARDIS works. It's just, there's small little things plunked in this episode that just make it all work together. And of course,
Hello. Sorry to burst in. We're doing a special on television pulse in this area. Also crimes.
famously from One Foot in the Grave,
I was just about to phone.
Mrs. Melgrew.
Hello, dear. You're a policewoman now. Well, sometimes I thought you
What a great program that was.
Oh, wasn't it?
were actually.
I mean, they I think it was, what's his name? Richard Wilson.
Yeah, now maybe.
He kind of regretted, because when it came to the last episode, he kind of insisted that they kill Victor Meldrew off,
I know.
and he kind of regrets it now, because there's so much more that they could have done, and they just...
And what sort of jobs are Kiss around?
It's true, but the thing is, it never became stale like say Only Fools and Horses or something. It went out when it was still relevant.
He had become bitter about the series because that's all he was doing and that's all people would know him for. And I think what he should have done is he should have taken a break rather than insist that they kill him.
Came back for that comic relief one-off though, didn't he? Where he was playing a ghost. That was brilliant.
Yeah, but he's looking about where it could be today now, what they could be doing with it, and it could be. I mean, I guess it happens to a lot of actors. A lot of actors tend to get really miffed off with that one role, and then they come back 2 years later. It's happened to almost every actor that's become famous for those roles.
Well, we're watching the epitome of that now, aren't we?
Well, I mean, like Matt Smith's really sort of kind of embraced it with the command. He's kind of followed in the footsteps of David Tennant, whereas you've got people like, I mean, Tom Baker got disenfranchised with it. I mean, you 7 years on the Rock, so he got disenfranchised with it. He kind of came back with them after, oh God, what was it? About 20 years before he did anything Doctor Who, and then he was, what, 35 years before he came back on screen.
He did the Dimensions in Time special in the 90s, didn't he? So it was probably about 15 years, 12 years, like that, something like that.
But it was all very sort of limited stuff. It wasn't. I mean, like, he done a commercial for New Zealand as the Doctor, but it was all very sort of, I don't know, take the money and run kind of deal. But I mean, William Shatner got disenfranchised with Kirk. Adam West got disenfranchised with Batman. They all come back to Harrison Ford was the same with Han Solo and Blade Runner and all. Indiana Jones. There's always these, I'm done with that. I want to do other things. I'm not that character. And then years later, they always end up coming back to them. I mean, it's just one of those things, really. I mean, David Tennant was a completely different story. David Tennant was one that he just embraced it all. He just went along for the ride. And hey, I'm a huge Doctor Who fan, Jacob. Doctor Who. Sorry, my spelling is bad. That's okay. My speaking is bad.
I'm not saying anything. Other than good evening, Jacob.
Yeah, so welcome. In the middle of 11th hour.
Oh, here they come. The human race. The end comes.
Great scene, great. And they really picked a great locations of this sort of middle England town. This sort of very, it's every sort of England picture of what you think an English town looks like. Here we go with the not bullet time. What is the worst Doctor Who story arc? What is the worst one? Oh, well, I mean, we watched Twin Dilemma. That's pretty bad. That is pretty bad. Twin Dilemma is probably the worst one. Of modern Who? Oh, God. Worst story arc, worst story or story arc of Doctor Who modern. Oh, Love and Monsters got to be in there somewhere.
Unless he means a series-wide arc, in which case, I don't know, Clara got a bit boring, didn't she?
I mean, yeah, it would have to be the Capaldi run, probably. And it didn't have a good end because they killed it in Face the Raven and then they brought it back to the next episode. It was like, you can't kill people and leave them dead. I'd say, oh God. Yeah, I mean the Clara Oswald conclusion after the Matt Smith run, the Clara Oswald conclusion didn't end well, but she got her own TARDIS. She kind of stole the show out from under Peter Capaldi, so that wasn't good. When the lead character becomes a background character in his own show, that's never a good thing.
I think for me, it was probably the arc to do with Clara and Danny Pink, where we end up with the Brigadier as the Cyberman. That whole arc.
That's what I mean. Well, you go from there into what is her being killed off, isn't it?
Yeah.
That entire story run of up until just the other side of Deep Breath. Maybe a couple of episodes into series 8. That's probably where it just starts going downhill. Because she just seizes control. It's not Jenna Coleman's fault. She's just really a really good actress, and she's the highlight of almost any episode.
This is Rory. He's a friend. Boyfriend. Man and dog, why?
Well, Arthur Darvill's doing a little bit well for himself these days.
Oh my God! It's him. Just answer his question, please. It's him, though. The doctor, the raggedy doctor.
See, they did a video of him with Matt Smith at a convention, and he's like, because he's just come off the back of doing Legends of Tomorrow. And he's like, see, I've got my own time machine. And he goes, yeah, but mine's cooler. But they do such a good job of, because if you think of almost anything British, it's kind of in this scene. You've got a British phone box, English village, British fire engine, a Mini Cooper. I mean, it's the choices.
A steeple, a pub.
Everything. It's everything. I don't know whether or not if you've seen this, but when they done the trailer for this episode, not just the episode, the series, they done all this stuff with all the stuff exploding and all that. But somebody took the trailer that the BBC did and re-edited it with the music. All they did was drop the music out and drop the music to Red Dwarf in, and it worked brilliantly.
I haven't seen that.
It's on YouTube. It's worth checking out. It's just Doctor Who trailer Red Dwarf music, I think it's called. And this is the other thing I love with this episode. He says exactly what Doctor Who should be. I'm the Doctor. 20 minutes to save the world. No TARDIS. No sonic screwdriver. I can do it. And that's how Doctor Who should be. Clara was a bit bland. Capaldi wasn't that entertaining. The Crow ending was kind of sad, and it was really good. So, season 11 opinions. Season 11 had 3 good episodes, and the rest were blur, and it had a couple of bad ones. I think that's the general gist of Series 11. Where do you stand with Series 11, Chris? I think you're on about the same border.
Yeah, I think I preferred it slightly more than you did because I really like Peter Capaldi. But
no, he's on Series 11.
Oh, Series 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I've got my seasons mixed up. Then yes, Season 11 was a mixed bag. 1 or 2 really good episodes, couple of middling episodes, and the rest were pretty bland.
Yeah. I mean, look, Clara, Jacob says Clara was a bit bland. Clara was really a nice. She was a good companion until she started seizing control. Until it turned into Dr. Clara. That's where it fell apart. The second the companion was stealing it all and taking charge. I mean, she was a bossy character, but she was actually dictating the show. That was the mistake. As for Capaldi, it was a missed opportunity. Capaldi was an opportunity to go more hammer horror, and they could have pushed it, and they didn't. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the series he's in now, the guy who plays Jethra, is called Umbrella. I think it's on Netflix. So, out of all the people in this show, the only person without their own series is actually Matt Smith. And Karen Gillan's got her own movies, and she's directing as well.
Oh, Matt Smith, what, Skynet?
Yeah, and The Crown, I suppose. I'm not saying he's doing bad. I'm just saying, like, it's ironic that the guy who was the lead in this show is the only one without his own show. I mean, like I said, you can't say anything bad about Olivia Colman. I don't know. I think they're all doing well. I think they're all doing pretty good.
I think we'll probably be giving our complete opinions on season 11 in 2 weeks' time, won't we?
Oh yeah, absolutely, totally. But after this, we're going to be giving our complete opinions on the Macra Terror. Oh, yeah.
Oh yes, I have watched it.
You've watched it?
I have watched it now, yeah, and quite a lot of the extras.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
It's very good.
Yeah, we'll get into that after this. So yeah, in this Matt Smith Cangillan's debut, Amy Pond is dressed as a policewoman as part of her job as a kissogram. The taxi is an extraterrestrial police force. The talent's disguised outside as a police box. There's not lots of police in it. And of course, Patrick Moore there. Sir Pat.
The Games Master.
Oh man, I missed that show. Games Master was brilliant. Games Master was such a fantastic show. Do you think he knew exactly what it was he was talking about?
Maybe. I think he had an inkling.
I mean, like, well, he was into astronomy and all that stuff, so he's sort of up with technology. So maybe.
Do you know, I am actually friends on Facebook with Dave the Games Animal Perry. What a nice man he really is.
See, you know that theme where they're banging away as he's about to do something really doctory? Totally missing from Series 11. It springs and it just doesn't have it. And it's not that they've done anything wrong with Series 11 in terms of the musical score, because they've done some brilliant musical scores in Series 11. But the Doctor hasn't got a theme. Yeah, there it is on the front of the fire engine, Saxon.
Not only that, it's a proper fire engine with a Nino sirens.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
There was a man with a dog. I think Dr. Abson's dead and the nurses.
Jesus Christ, can you believe the star power in that corridor? One Legend of Tomorrow, one Academy Award winner, and a Guardian of the Galaxy. Do you know what I love? I don't know if you've heard it, but there's a one of David Tennant's podcasts, and he has different people on every now and again, and he had Olivia Colman on. She is the only woman I know of that can drop the C word and use it in its proper context. She is phenomenal. She can swear like a trooper. So yeah, this Doctor's theme makes a smashing ringtone. 13 Doc's theme, very ethereal, wishy-washy. Again, you've got the I Am the Doctor theme, which is, this banging, ramping theme. And you've also got the theme to the show. And yet, people forget, the only other time really the Doctor Who theme was used, the actual Doctor Who theme, inside a Doctor Who episode, was probably Name of the Doctor. And it's during the scenes whereby Clara's falling through those different iterations of the Doctor. So again, it does bug me that the fact that they don't use the Doctor Who theme as the Doctor's theme. It bothers me no end.
Take the disguise off, I'll find you in a heartbeat. Nobody dies. The Atraxi will kill me this time. If I am to die, let there be fire.
I've always had the Howl music as a ringtone when I've had that as a ringtone.
Do it again.
But I mean, like, can you imagine like what the Jaws theme would be like without the Jaws theme in it? You know, if they only played it on the credits, so it just wouldn't work. Or the Superman theme, or Indiana Jones, or I mean, it's crazy.
Doesn't know. The universe is cracked.
I love the Solvier as well. The way that the Doctor figures this out. And you've got to remember as well, this is kind of the first time, really, that he regenerates and he's straight into action. Like all the other Doctor regenerations, he's always been handled. But I like the fact that Stephen Moffat decided not to scope guns blazing.
Teamwork. Check the world. And do you know what they're doing? They're spreading the word. What over the world?
And the word is zero. But there was a general cleverness to this solve as well.
Word is
Groovy.
word is zero.
Now the bird is the word.
Might probably take this in. If I had a whole battlefield to map, I'd be able to track a simple old computer virus to its source in under a minute. Source, by the way, is right here.
See, a general bit of clever sort of. You can follow the reasoning. It might be techno garbage and it might be a little bit of bullshittery, but at least you can follow the reasoning.
While I'm in this form, they'll still be unable to detect me. They've tracked the phone, not me. Yeah, but this is good. This is my favourite bit. Do you know what this phone is full of? Pictures of you.
Crap apps that you don't need.
Right here.
That's what it's full of. That's what everybody's phone is full of. I have never, ever once used Google Drive.
Oh, I have. I've got 100 gigabyte subscription.
I try to think. I'm gonna have to have a look to see what apps I've got on my pad. Stuff that I've never used. But even the logic here with what the Atraxi do and Prisoner Zero's logic. Let's have a look here.
You don't know. Why are you copying me? I'm not.
Play music. Nope, never used. It's not too bad. Google people.
I got rid of most of the crap off my phone. I only tend to have stuff I really use on there now.
I wouldn't mind, but there's some stuff I just can't get rid of. So some stuff I just won't uninstall. But it's about time I got a new phone anyway, so. I love the way it's photographed. I'm trying to think what there was a. Was it the Ring used to use photography like that? Where they use this sort of jump cut edit?
No.
It's amazing as well when you see her in Time of the Doctor and she's supposed to be playing the girl of the same age, and they've had to do several little tricks here or there because she's obviously she's like 5 years older. Oh, that CGI hasn't aged well, is it? But, you know, it's an alien, it can look fake. When it comes to things looking fake in Doctor Who, at least it's not a green frog. I know shows are supposed to set standards, but they set the wrong one. I won't let that go. No matter what. I don't care what episode of Doctor Who I'm watching, or however ropey those effects get, if I'm watching the classic show, I will never, ever, ever look at a classic episode of Doctor Who and go, well, that's bad. Because I've seen worse.
This is a fully established level 5 planet. You could have burned it. What? Do you think no one was watching? You know, back here now.
Good little callback happens as well later on in the series in Good Man Goes to War, where the two soldiers are talking about, oh, you just brought the Atraxi back and give him a roasting. I mean, nice little callbacks.
I'm saving the world. I need a decent shirt. Hell.
Yes, Olivia Colman was obviously with David Tennant in Broadchurch.
You just summoned aliens back to Earth. Actual aliens. Deadly aliens. Aliens.
Broadchurch, which became Doctor Who.
Yeah, which later became Jodie Whittaker, yeah.
Are you stealing clothes now? Those clothes belong to
And obviously the writers for Broadchurch ended up in charge of Doctor Who.
Turn you back.
No. A milestone episode introducing the Doctor Companion was premiered at the press at a restricted event held in Cardiff on the 18th of March. Do you know what? I still remember that event because in Cardiff they actually had a TARDIS that was in a crater. They actually built a crater and put the TARDIS in it, and that's what they had outside. I want to say Cineworld, which was the cinema that you can see in the background at the end of Rose.
I don't know.
So yeah, they had a crashed TARDIS built into the crater, and it was spectacular. It was all smoke bellowing out of it.
Billion people with it. Is that important?
This is great, this bit.
It is. I love it. I genuinely I think it's a good moment. It's the fact that he's not ready, and he goes through. You see, he's not dressed, he's not ready, and then he goes through all this bit now where he steps. And when he steps on the hologram, he straightens up the bow tie, and that's when he's done.
By the laws of the Atraxi.
He's there. That's where he arrives.
Okay. One more, just one. Is this world tempting?
See, you can see him just through the. If you look, you can see him just through the hologram, and he's just there doing it up. And he's doing the collar now. Gets the jacket. Buttons it up. Boom! There he is.
I'm the doctor.
Bow-legged as you like.
Basically.
Couldn't stop but picking a passage. I would like another episode with the Atraxi though, just to get a little bit more out of. It's clearly a species with mileage. And he's off. God damn it, it does look good. They've done very little to that box to improve it, to make it different. But my God, does it make a massive difference?
It just looks so clean.
Well, I mean, they have done a lot. I mean, it is a brand new box. It's very much a brand new box. It's you know, they've done the wood texture in the way they've done it before, whereby they burnt the outside so that you get that nice deep sort of glossy highlights to the wood grain. But they've done things like they've increased the thickness of the base to make it a little bit taller, and they've increased the actual depth of the wall by like something like an eighth of an inch, just so the walls are sunk back into the pillars a little bit further. It's really, you know, this much, and that's all it is. But it just makes it look a lot more contrasted, and it's just, and obviously they changed the lamp on top as well, which makes it a little bit taller again. So it is a much, not much bigger, but I mean, if you were to see it again side by side with the box A12, you'd realise that. I think there is an image of it actually side by side with it. Oh God, no, I'm not googling anything. It'll break. We'll do it after the show finishes.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, it'll break. Yeah, the backlit sign there. I wasn't sure the first time I saw that sign backlit. It was like, oh, do I like that? And I think I prefer if it's a bit more solid and it's just around the lettering, like you see later on in Victory of the Daleks, whereby it's literally just around the letters.
I just saved the world. The whole planet for about a minute's time, no charge. Yeah, shoot me. I kept the clothes. Including the bow tie. Yeah, it's cool.
I mean, no, the general thing about the TARDIS is that they normally make the TARDIS as tall as comparatively as tall as the Doctor. So if the Doctor is up to the bar that goes across the window, then that's how much taller the TARDIS needs to be. That's the general sort of thing of New Who in particular.
Amazing. Things, all that stuff.
Pretty much ever since Peter Davison or Sylvester McCoy, really.
That was 2 years ago.
Because obviously Sylvester McCoy inherited the box.
14 years. 14 years since Fish Custard. Heavy Pond. You only waited. You waited long enough.
That's why the new box is much shorter, because Jodie Whittaker is.
The swimming pool was in the library. Yeah, not sure it's got to now. It'll turn up. So, coming. No. You wanted to come 14 years ago? I grew up. Don't worry.
It's also why they changed the Daleks as well. They changed the Daleks because Karen Gillan was so tall. They wanted Daleks that she could look in the eye. And everybody went, we don't like those. They look like the Power Rangers have become Daleks.
Daleks with big asses.
I think if they had taken the paint job off and actually just made them a bit more metallic, you know, just metal, like just bare metal, I think it would have worked.
Yeah, they just look like iPhones.
Yeah, they were just very plasticky. Here we get the new view of the new TARDIS interior with all the plant pots everywhere. I really do love the roundels. The absolute only thing I don't like in this TARDIS is the damn console.
And possibly a swimming.
The second I saw those roundels with the mirror balls on them, I was sold. It was just like, oh my God, they thought it out.
Where do you want
But then I saw the console and it was just like, so close yet so far.
Then compare it to the latest console, and it's brilliant.
Pardon?
So then compare it to the latest console, and it was brilliant.
Yeah. Again, I don't like things like those taps and the button and the bells. It's just, I don't like it. It's nonsense to me.
I've always preferred the old consoles with the buttons and the CRT screens on them.
Console, if I had to put in the category, if I had it's what Roald Dahl would have made a console out of. Do you know what I mean? It's that sort of, it's not Doctor Who enough for me.
It's got a bit of steampunk about it, isn't it?
Well, it's trash, isn't it? It is. That's what it is, though. It's like somebody glued a lot of crap that they found in the scrapyard to a console.
No, seriously,
I suppose we a new
someone had to bring Wilf Lunn out of retirement.
But they spent a shitload of money on it, though. Do you know how much it cost to glass blow that bloody time rotor?
Go on.
Something like £35,000.
That's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, it's a specialist item. It's like a 7-foot tall glass blown. I mean, there was a guy literally with a glass pipe going. And he literally did it by hand. There's a video out there of him actually doing it.
One day, I am definitely a madman with a box.
I don't think they had enough. I don't think they got enough mileage out of this interior. I think it could have gone a bit further. They could have done a bit more with it. It was such an unusual, and to have that, and a nice colour on the inside as well. The coppery look to the interior. Ah, yes. Big important event. It's happening tomorrow. I don't know who sculpted that Matt Smith doll on the end there on the desk, but it does look like him. Scream. And coming soon. There we go. And that is the 11th hour. That still, it doesn't fail. Doesn't fail on any level. I absolutely loved it. Absolutely love it. Matt Smith is good in it. Karen Gillan's good in it. Everybody's good in it. The story is good. It's all fan-bloody-tastic. No, you've seen the episode again, obviously, because we're 11 weeks in now. Wow. So where do you stand with the episode now that you've seen it again?
Oh, it's a cracking episode, isn't it? Really, it's been a long, long while since I've watched it, and yeah, I can't fault it.
It's so again, it's so good because to me, it's got everything that Doctor Who has. Everything. Like I said, he jumps through time multiple times. He's not in one place. They've got everything that you could ever. You know, when they say, "Oh, we're in this small English village," there's everything. When they say that, they put absolutely the mini, the phone box, the fire engine, the police uniform, the doctors, the nurses, the church, the pub, the post office. They even point out the fact that, oh, it's got a post office and it's shut. I mean, so yeah, probably the best regen story. It is my favorite regen story, best jumping on story. It really is. It's from. I mean, like, I think the Eighth Doctor does it well as well. The Eighth Doctor does. It's not a great story, the Eighth Doctor, the Doctor Who movie, but as for exposition, as to explaining who and what the Doctor is, it's very, very thorough. 11th Hour, though, it's got everything: time, space, aliens, interdimensional cracks, new companions. And everything is reset to zero. Even the new TARDIS, the new interior.
And the version I'm watching has even got the BBC voiceover at the end of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, it's just easier to watch it on the computer.
but I mean, like, you know, Matt Smith, I don't know if they filmed this out of order. I would assume not, because because I know that they do double bank later on for other episodes. You need monsters in Doctor Who. 8 has none. It's a good point. 8 doesn't really have a. I mean, he has the Master, but he's not really, much of anything. Where was it? Yeah, this is the second time the Doctor has regenerated in the modern series. On both occasions, after he completely regenerated the process and crashed the TARDIS on Earth. Well, no, this would have been. I mean, doesn't he? He crashes in Deep Breath as well, doesn't he? Wasn't Angels was for Time of Angels was for the first? Yes, it was. Yeah, of course it was, because they were filming in Lampwick. Yes.
In fact, looking at the episode list for this series, well, apart from the Lodger, because I really cannot stand James Corden, it's quite a strong series story-wise.
I mean, we can have a look at this. Have a quick look at the. Oh, why am I looking at that? It's on a different button. I tell you what. So you more episodes. Let's look at. So we've got The Beast Below. The Beast Below didn't really sell me that well. I mean, I watched it since, and I do think it's a much better story than I initially thought. Victory of the Daleks. It's so much like Power of the Daleks that you can't. It has this whole thing whereby, I mean, they take a lot of cues from Power of the Daleks, where the Dalek is, constantly going, "I am your servant," and of course, the Doctor is like, "These things are dangerous. Stop what you're doing." It does take a lot of cues from that, but Power of the Daleks is still stronger. Time of Angels. It's just, it's a good story. But obviously, I think after the problem is that they start weakening the Angels. I think.
Is that the episode where you see the Angels move the first time? Is that the later ones?
That's
because that was really creepy. Where one of the Angels actually you actually see it turn its head. That was really freaky the first time I saw it.
I'm just trying to. I'm looking at the episode listings here. So Human Angels return. The Doctor is recruited by Father Octavian to track the last of the Angels through a terrifying maze of the dead. So, that's the one where all the sort of soldiers, where River Song shows back up again.
Yeah, it is. That's the one where you see the Angels move for the first time. Yeah, that's freaky.
Yes. We go back. Yeah, because the next one after that then is Flesh and Stone. No, it's Flesh and Stone is where they actually move, isn't it?
I just mentioned that within that two-parter.
Yeah, it's in the two-parter. The end. It's got a cracking cliffhanger where the Doctor's got the gun in his hand. Yes, Moving Angels. Yeah, Flesh and Stone. Yes. Thank you, Ian. It is. Flesh and Stone was the one where they move, but it was that two-parter. Then you got Vampires in Venice, which I think is kind of a cop-out because they're not really vampires. But it's still, it's still a nice episode. I wish they had made them vampires though, because I didn't like my gripe with that episode was the part whereby they're supposed to be walking around in the daytime and they walk around in the shadow, and then she literally gets a mirror and just reflects light onto him and he just explodes. And it's just like, you could have done something better than that. You could have done something a little bit better than that. Amy's Choice, where that's the one with the Dream Lord. Good episode as well because you've got Toby Jones as the Dream Lord. Good choice. He would have made an interesting Doctor as well.
Very small TARDIS they'd have had to have then.
Well, I think he would have been kind of like a sort of Sylvester McCoy type. Then you've got the Hungry Earth, but where we bring back the Silurians. And also stop me from going to Aberdeen because they blocked the bloody road off. Swines. Cold Blood. No, so you're something that you don't know. So the actual start of Hungry Earth and Cold Blood is filmed in a little place called Llamono. And the TARDIS actually lands in this churchyard, right? And you can't see it because they never show it. But just opposite the churchyard, there is this pub. And that's where all the vans parked and everything for them, all the filming crew and everything, right? It is literally in the middle of nowhere, right? In that churchyard, there is the gravestone of a guy named Griffith Morgan. And the reason why it's relevant is that he is basically part of a very well-told Welsh legend called Gideonith Bran. And that is I had always grown up knowing the story, but I had never known that he was I never took him as being a real person. But in that graveyard is actually his grave, and it actually says, he's got a bloody big headstone. And it actually sort of has it all listed on the grave and everything. It's but it's a good fable as well, and I never took it as anything real. And of course, I actually been to that cemetery and I've seen it. It's just like, holy crap, he was a real person. How much of this story is true? And then you got Vincent and the Doctor. Brilliant episode, Vincent and the Doctor, except for the giant invisible chicken. The Lodger. See, I don't mind James Corden. I prefer him in this to Gavin and Stacey because I didn't get on with Gavin and Stacey. I think he's okay on his own chat show. Pandorica opens, good one, cracking one. Stonehenge. I think that's the last time they were actually allowed to film in Stonehenge as well. The Big Bang. Yeah. And then you go into A Christmas Carol for the Christmas episode. So yeah, it is actually, Series 5 is actually a pretty strong showing. Particularly when, the end run where you've got the Pandorica opens and the Big Bang. Cracking way to close up the show. The fact that they do re-reference things like Vincent and the Doctor, whereby he's having that breakdown, he does the painting, and then they get the painting from the Queen in the future, from the Beast Below. A lot of good callbacks. Yeah, it is. Series 5 is a pretty strong show. Yeah.
I've even got the 3D trailer on my computer as well. I forgot all about that.
The 3D trailer?
For Series 5.
Oh, really?
It's a blue and red lens 3D job.
Yeah. Yes. But, so as for 11th Hour, I think they did a lot of things very well for what the show was. Again, there's only one shot in it, and that's on the interior of the TARDIS, whereby they actually had to film on a different camera, and you can actually see it. And it's only one shot, and you can actually see the grain in the actual shot, which they had to go with it because they didn't have another camera. Nothing available anyway. And it was the only. I think they'd already shot and everything. It was in the can when they actually saw it back on the dailies, and it was just like we didn't notice that on the monitor. And it's just a bit khaki. What else is there? Let's look. Yeah. So the episode introduces the theme arrangement, and unprecedented third by Murray Gold. A new opening title sequence also introduced the new logo. Yeah, we were talking about the logo earlier. It's probably one of the best Doctor Who logos they've had. It's better than the diamond, I think, because they actually, the fact that they've got it, the TARDIS shape worked into the DW. I don't like the new one. I think the new one is a little bit too, the gold one.
It's a bit Harry Potter.
It's not only that, it's the fact that I find the letters to be a bit spindly. They're really thin.
Although, saying that, I like the way the TARDIS drew them lines out on the ident on the front of the Macroterra DVD.
Yeah. I mean, that was the original teaser trailer. So,
right.
Yeah, that was the original teaser for the show. Yeah, and it kind of, I don't know, it kind of done a better job of the teaser than it did for, like, I like the crystal, the crystal themes. It was like sort of crystal asteroids and all that. And it just, I mean, it was a nice colour. But then when you saw the interior of the TARDIS, it was like, okay, I see what you've done there. So yeah, new logo, nice and thin, good for artwork. I mean, it's horses for courses, really. I prefer the Matt Smith Series 5 artwork. That's where I stand on that. The logo. But again, the Pertwee one was the classic one that was used right the way through, and it still gets used today. And it was obviously the one that was used for the Eighth Doctor as well.
That is a good logo. That's what I think of most when I think of a Doctor Who logo.
Yeah, it's very. I mean, the worst one is probably McCoy, where you had the Doctor and the big block, boom, boom, boom. I mean, at the time when they come up with that, the guy was still experimenting. The guy who came up with that logo was actually experimenting. He was the guy who done the titles for the News at 6. And he was experimenting with block chunky letters. That's how he came up with it. Was that he took the BBC News at 6 and just sort of went, instead of SIX, what if it's WHO? And that's how it happened. So yeah, the logo for Series 5 looks good. Again, I love the time corridor. The time corridor is absolutely stunning. I do like the new one. I will say that I do like the new one, but it looks a bit glittery. I like the fact that it shows the TARDIS going from one corridor into another corridor, so it changes direction in time. Not just back and forth down a tube, but actually having to go through. That's how the TARDIS ends up in different places, I guess. That it accidentally goes down, navigates down the wrong one. So yeah, I do like that. But I mean, when I first saw the whole, because it's always been blue for back and red for forward. So if the TARDIS is traveling backwards in time, it's always been going blue, and then if it's traveling forwards in time, it's always been going red. And they do a similar sort of thing with the Matt Smith one, except it's clouds for backwards in time and fire for forwards in time. So, but a very, very nice looking thing. Very nice looking thing. And of course, the whole Matt Smith run then leads up to Day of the Doctor. I think we're going to have to do Day of the Doctor at some point.
Yeah, I think so.
I think, but again, we've got to cover things like An Adventure in Space and Time. There's the whole thing around the 50th anyway, so we should do, at some point after we've done the regeneration episodes, at some point we should do An Adventure in Space and Time, the 5-ish Doctors reboot, because that's worth a laugh. That is so worth a laugh. So many in-jokes in that. Again, written by Peter Davison. And Chris, you saw the video I sent of the Gallifrey 1 opening.
Oh, that was brilliant.
That's the quality of writing from Peter Davison. So yeah, did you see the fan materialization video from about a year ago. It landed in the forest. Right. So Ian, you're actually on about Ben Pickles, the guy. He goes by the name John Smith on YouTube, right? Just so you know, Ben Pickles was the guy who did the opening title sequence for Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who. He literally did the guy you were referring to about the Kraken dematerialization. You know about the TARDIS is there, the camera pans around, and it goes into the time corridor, and it pops into a forest, right? And then you see all the trees just go dum dum dum, and it lands. Instead of the TARDIS dematerializing, everything else dematerializes around it. Yeah, it was done by a guy named Ben Pickles, and Ben Pickles, he's a friend of mine on Facebook, and he actually did the titles for Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who. But also, as well, it's worth noting when we talk about fan films, things as well, the Peter Capaldi title sequence, which we'll get into when we do Deep Breath, that was also fan-made as well. Stephen Moffat saw it on YouTube and went, let's do that. And that's what they did. They called the guy up and said, we like your video and we'd like to use your stuff. And I couldn't believe it, because I actually knew the video. I actually knew the title sequence. And then when I saw it, I was sitting with a mate and went, they're thieving bastards! Because I was like, I know what they've done! It was just like you've nicked somebody else's work. And actually, if you check at the end credits, he's actually credited in the Peter Capaldi series. But yeah, the title sequence for the guy who actually did that is actually working on Doctor Who now. So it's good to know. Because he also does, I think he also done Wholock as well. And he done so many, he's done quite a few Doctor Who things as well. But yes, yeah, his name is Ben Pickles, and he's available to chat to anyone really. He's a decent enough guy. Does a lot of good work. It is a shot that I wish they had used in the show, by the way, because it's amazing. It is the best dematerialization I've ever seen. Have you seen that, Chris?
I haven't. I might just plug it into YouTube now and look at the visuals.
It's worth a look. Genuinely, I'll tell you what, I'll see if I can find it quickly. Let's have a look here. There it is. Let me just get the link here. Copy. And I will copy, paste it into the Hangout chat. There you go. It's in the Hangout chat. I don't know if you can see it.
No, because I can't see the chat.
Okay, what about the YouTube chat? Can you see the YouTube chat?
Oh, I can see the YouTube chat, yeah.
Right, I will post it into the YouTube chat. There you go. It's only, yeah, he says it's only about 20 seconds long. It's 48 seconds. He's the video, but yeah, it is a gorgeous. It is the best dematerialization that's ever been done, and it's not even an official dematerialization. But it is such the fact that he chooses to go from a different perspective, to stay with the TARDIS instead of to have the TARDIS fade out, the world fades out instead. But yeah, the guy goes by John Smith, but his name's actually Ben Pickles, I think. I'm sure I'm saying that right. But yeah, because he also done Rain as well, didn't he, with Peter Capaldi? I'm fairly sure it's the same guy. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's Ben. Yeah,
that's impressive.
Oh yeah, but again, he actually does the title sequence for Jodie Whittaker. He did a colorization of the first farewell. Now, I've got to be honest, when it comes to the colorization of Doctor Who, I don't think anybody does it better than Babel Colour. Babel Colour just does an amazing job, so much better than anyone I've ever seen. I don't know. I mean, it's a frame by frame job that he exports every frame to Photoshop and does every frame on different layers. So it must take forever to absolutely do. But if you look at Babel Colour and their colorization, it's incredible. Very similar Vortex. So it is. Yeah, I mean, again, it's the same person. He's just refining it, really, just sort of working on it a little bit more, working on it a little bit harder, and but yeah, very similar. It's the Whittaker Vortex, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you just refine something that you're already working on? Recoloring is very tricky, easy to make them too pink. It is. Look, I've done. I once spent a bloody 2 days working recoloring a Lewis Wilson Batman picture. And that took absolutely forever to get right. It's a lot more difficult than you think. So the fact that, but if you check out Babel Colour stuff, I think Babel Colour. I don't know if he's still actually working now. I don't know. So look, yeah, let's take a gander. Babel Colour. So for videos, let's see where the last one was uploaded. A year.
1 year ago.
Yeah. I was 9 minutes long. Yeah, I mean, just having a look at the stuff that he's done. The colorized Doctor Who True Colors. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good video. Colorized Doctor Who: The Daleks' Master Plan. So not only is he colorized an episode there, but he's also colorized an episode that is missing. That's a really tough thing to do. No, he does. He does an amazing job. Yeah, it's such a good. There are really talented people out there that are doing some great stuff. There's a new vid 60s in color. Doctor Who 60s in color. Do you know what? We've got to talk about this. We were going to talk about Macro Terror. On the Macro Terror Blu-ray, there is a behind-the-scenes color film of the guys who actually built the models and props for Doctor Who.
That's great, that is.
Oh, it's bloody fantastic. Because there's two things. One is it's shot in Super 8 and it's in full color. And the other thing, because there's no sound there, but the other thing is that you get to see what all the props looked like at the time. It's narrated by Mike Tucker, who's the one of the model builders for Doctor Who. And one of the things he points out is the fact that there's one particular prop, and it's filled with all perspex parts, and it's like luminous green, luminous red, and of course by the time it gets to the show, it's all grey, and it's just like, what would this have looked like in colour? And it's fantastic to see them, because they were building. It was good because you were talking about all the little things in the video. And you just went, by the way, they built Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
That was brilliant. That was better than seeing the Doctor Who stuff. How good was that?
It was gorgeous, wasn't it?
It was absolutely brilliant. All the brass piping and that is great.
Oh, it was absolutely beautiful. All the fact that the actual paneling on the car was wood, and it was it was a fiberglass shell, and they wood panelled over the top of it, and then they properly fabricated the actual seats in proper. It was proper leather interior. They're like, what? It was made of glove leather, but it was still. It was absolutely stunning. Yeah. Should the Whomobile return? Not ever. Not ever.
Bessie, maybe. The James Bond one, no.
Look, if we talk about Bessie can return any day of the week. I'm happy for Bessie to return. But if we talk about that shitty Whomobile, no. No, 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 no. I can't. No, not Bessie. No. So the problem with that vehicle was that vehicle. It was just awful. It didn't. It was a bad design. It was badly executed. The visual effects on it were bad. The concept of it was a bad concept. It would be interesting. Right? It would be interesting to see. I mean, there's no look. If you're talking about a Whomobile, there's the TARDIS. Why do you need? I mean, the Doctor at the time needed Bessie to get around because the TARDIS couldn't go anywhere. So that was a reason for bringing Bessie into the show. But as for actually having a flying Whomobile, nah, the Doctor's got a TARDIS.
I suppose at least with a Whomobile, we could follow a sat nav and end up where he needs to go.
But it's such an unnecessary naff design, and it's.
Oh yeah, I'm just taking the piss. It was rubbish.
I mean, I'm just gonna Google who's the whom.
That's the posh version of Roger Daltrey, isn't it? The whom?
Yeah, the whom. Oh, God. So I tell you what. Let's just. There we go. Oh God, how is this gonna work? There we go. There it is. What in the pissing farting hell is that?
That's shocking.
Let's just scroll across. Let's click on this. So we can. Oh, good dear God. I mean, it looks like a foot. What are you supposed to do with that?
That looks like a manta ray with rigor mortis.
I mean, you're driving a giant sandal. It's just a hideous looking thing. I get what they were trying to. I get what they were going for, but I mean, there's. Yeah, there we go. They put it on Blue Peter because it looks like it was stuck together with double-sided sticky tape. It was a three-wheeler. I'd like to see what somebody could do with with a new design on the Whomobile. But the only way I would ever bring the damn thing back is if Jenny was to come back and he would have given her own vehicle to drive off in.
I'll tell you the problem we'd have if they did the Whomobile like that now. She'd put eyelashes on it, wouldn't she?
Oh, God. No, it'd be a shark. That's where it should be, a shark. But I mean, look at God, sulfur screen replacement. That hurt Doctor Who. That did. The second somebody figured out you could do sulfur screen replacement as opposed to proper CSO overlay, God, that hurt Doctor Who. They started doing shit things. They started using glove puppets. That was a mistake. You ended up with bloody all different sorts. Based on Walter's seat, like the Explorer's invalid train. Yeah, but the Thunder Road was a class vehicle. Don't diss the Thunder Road. If you're going to talk about the Explorers, I guess the actual framework for the Whomobile was probably a Robert Reliant. And I guess I mean, three-wheeled vehicles don't work very well either. Ask bloody Sinclair. I mean, the Sinclair C5 seemed cool.
No, it didn't. It really didn't.
No, it seemed. That's what I'm saying. It seemed cool. It just
it had the name Sinclair on it, mate. I'm a Commodore boy through and through.
Oh God. No, it's just I don't think three-wheeled vehicles have ever done it for anyone. I'm sure there are people out there that like sort of the big sort of trike motorbikes, but as for vehicles in general, I can't think of a single three-wheeled vehicle that's ever done it as well as a four-wheel.
I'll tell you a quick amusing story. I used to work at an engineering place, and one of my best mates, he's no longer with us. He worked there, and he used to drive around in a Reliant Robin. Yeah. And there was this big black fella there called Colin, who was always ripping the shit out of him about it because he had a really fast Rover, whatever it was at the time. And my mate Adam said to him, he goes, "I'll tell you what," goes, "you think my car's so shit? We'll have a race. I will do you, and I'll beat you to the end of the yard." And of course he did. Absolutely smashed it because it didn't weigh anything. It was fiberglass with a 750cc motorbike engine in it, basically. And Colin never took a pee out of his car again, ever.
Probably up on his back, two wheels. The Whomobile. If the Whomobile was a spaceship, and it wasn't for the Doctor, and it was something that the Doctor dusted off. And then went, yeah, you have that. I don't like you that much. Then yeah, I think that's the only way that it could probably ever come back. That's the only way it should come back. I think the things that the Doctor Who could bring back that would do exceptionally well in today's climate. Like I think they could have another crack at doing Chameleon. But I think given what the failings were back then when they tried to do Chameleon in the past, today they could do Chameleon no problem at all. And make it work.
He's still sat in the TARDIS, powered down somewhere, isn't he?
I think so. Or disassembled. But you could do that. You don't have to be rigid to the design of it was in the 80s. It was a bit Galloping Galaxies. In terms of the design, but the way you could do the actual, the way that Chameleon could work as an evolved thing, whereby it could just morph into different things. Planet of Fire, yeah. God, I haven't seen Planet of Fire in a long time. Long time. That's probably the first time they filmed abroad, isn't it? Planet of Fire. I hazard a guess. No, it couldn't have been. No, they must have done City of Death. That was Paris. Yeah, which Chameleon dies.
Right. Okay, I just thought he was switched off somewhere. I haven't seen Planet of Fire for a long while either.
I am. It's been such a long time. Normally, if I have a run on Doctor Who, normally I'll pick a Doctor and go through it. The last Doctor I did a run on was probably Colin Baker. Yeah, anyway, I know we're talking about it, but let's get into talking a little bit about Macro Terror. So yeah, last week I pointed out that it was available on Blu-ray, and I think pretty much both Chris and I had the same sort of thing, which was as soon as the broadcast ended, we kind of just went order.
Yeah, that's about right.
And then yeah, you may have been distracted by Perry's bikini. Yeah, yeah. So the next day, then I get home from work, and I'm literally walking into the front door, and there's a nice little package on my floor saying Royal Mail. I open it up, and inside is the Macro Terror Blu-ray. It's phenomenal. It is absolutely phenomenal. I have one major gripe with the way that they've done part of the animation, and that is that in the scene where the TARDIS lands, they do this outside bit whereby they're in this cove. If you listen to the audio, it's clear that it's not meant to be there. It's some sort of cave that they should, because it's really echoey. If you listen to the audio, it's not meant to be outside. And they should have redone that. That's the only thing that I can think of. I thought it must have arrived quickly. It did arrive quickly. It was very quick. I wasn't expecting to have it for at least 2 days. But yeah, it just got you like a bolt. But I didn't care. So I sat down and I put it on and I went, I'm watching the crap out of this. And I did. And boy, was it good. Do you know what? I tell you the other thing that I liked about Macro Terror. I mentioned it when I did my review, but the fact that they did what I said they should have done with Power of the Daleks, which was to really scale up the sets, to really give it this sort of grandiose to it, this real sort of sense of size and shape to the entire thing, and it worked a lot. And I loved the design on the colony that they had on the precipice. And also, if you look carefully, down in the valley, you'll see the same rocket design that was used in Tomb of the Cybermen. That's people working on it, going, ha, we're Doctor Who fans. I just thought it was absolutely smashing. The quality was great.
Carwyn.
Hello.
I've got the old reconstruction, the Macro Terror, and I've just played the bit where the TARDIS lands, and it's very much outside.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if you listen to the audio, the audio is clearly suitable for a different location. Ah,
right, gotcha.
It's not that they didn't follow. That's what I'm saying. They changed things about the episode, whereby they changed the locations of what the interior sets and everything looked like, and they changed it. They were faithful to the telesnaps in some cases, but they changed a lot of like size, scale, and ratio, and the design on certain things to make it look more appealing to a modern audience. But then they had if you listen to the audio in that scene where the TARDIS lands and they're talking to the guards come in with the guns, and they're having that whole back and forth, it clearly sounds like the TARDIS should have landed inside a cave. There's definitely, the audio doesn't match the visuals.
No, that's a fair point.
That's really it. That's pretty much my only look. I said it on my review that my gripe on the entire episode, on episodes 1, 2, 3, and 4, are very small gripes. The performances are great. I even like the brainwashing they did on Ben. And I thought that the way that they done, you know, where control comes up on the screen,
yeah,
that blank expression, because obviously when they did it, they just had a photo of a guy, the actor's face, just projected onto a screen, but it just looked like a person's face. Whereas in the animation looked like it was a digitally constructed image. And they've done a really good job of sort of just going, okay, this isn't a real image. This is a computer-generated image. And even though it's an animated, animated style, but the animation was slick. I do wish I mentioned this again. I do wish they had rescored it for the color version though. I think they could have brought somebody in and just gone, let's do something with this music, because they had that sort of I don't even know what you'd call it, muzak, I guess. That sort of where they've got this. They used to do it in like Buck Rogers and stuff like that, whereby you'd be like, hey, this is future music and everybody's boogieing down. You know the music I'm on about, right?
Oh, I know exactly what you're on about.
It's that sort of synth, sort of, everybody's dancing. Isn't this fantastic?
Elevator music for spacemen.
Yeah, and the Macro Terror is very guilty of it. But I've got to be honest. I never took the Macra as any much of a threat in even in what was it, New Earth?
Gridlock, I think.
Gridlock. Yes, and even in that, I didn't take them as much as a threat. In this, I did though. This was like, and it was the bit whereby Ben. Was it Ben? No, it was Jamie. When he walks down the tunnel, and he's like, he's looking around. There's no Macra, and it's on the bloody ceiling. I was like, oh, get out there as fast as you can go. God. Like giant Macra walking about, and the animation for them walking about, whereby they're doing this really sort of smooth, slow, sort of like they're coming out towards you, but it's like a meandering pace. That's quite creepy as it is. But the fact that this thing just disappeared, and he's looking around, and there's this green blob just goes bloop, and he looks up, and it's right there. It's like, oh God, cracking stuff. Like, I mean, it's so well done. There's again, my complaints about the color version are it should have been the movie instead of 4 episodes. I'm
going to do that, by the way.
Pardon?
I'm going to do that. I intend to be ripping that and splicing them together into a movie.
There's no need. There's no need for it to be. They've already given you the 4 episodes in the black and white version, which is faithful or as faithful to the original as possible. That's very nice. Do the movie. And the thing is, a lot of people would say this argument of, but it's going to cost more money, and therefore, why do it if you don't have to? And the thing is that if you did do it, you get more people screaming and shouting and saying, you need to buy this. So you get a lot more promotion out of it. And the chances are more people will buy it. And in fairness, I have checked it out. So far, Macra Terra is the best-selling Doctor Who Blu-ray so far. It's been incredibly well received.
If they follow up on their teaser trailer, I think they'll sell a lot more.
Shall we talk about that, or do you think that might be a bit spoilery?
Well, I'm never one that cares about spoilers, so that's down to you, mate. It's your channel.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, but I'm just trying to get a sort of, because I kind of want to talk about it myself. I don't think I give away too much in the mini-sode, but yeah, go on, let's talk about it. So on the Blu-ray, one of the special features is a Doctor Who Patrick Troughton mini-sode, and it is a mini-sode that, to all intents and purposes, appears to be a promotion for a future Doctor Who story that they're going to do, that they're going to animate. That's at least what my feeling of it was, that it appeared to be a piece of a trailer or a piece of an episode that's basically saying, look what's coming next. And do you want to talk about it, Chris?
Yeah, go for it. It's great. I mean,
Yeah.
You mentioned it, and I thought, well, I haven't looked at that yet. So that was the first thing I watched.
Yeah.
And my instant reaction was, oh, and are they going to do the couple that still survive and redo them in animation? He says, not giving too much away.
So yeah, okay. Let's just mention it. Let's put it out there. So the special feature gives you a mini episode, and it is Doctor Who: The Wheel in Space, and the way they do the animation is very nice. The animation on the robot. Now, I think they could have changed the design of the robot a little bit because it's. I don't know though, because it kind of reminds me of. Remember Huey, Dewey, and Louie from.
DuckTales?
No, I mean yes, but no, the robots from. Oh God, what the hell was the Disney film called? Not the Black Hole. Oh dear God. Silent Running. Yes. So I don't know if you remember that film, but there were three robots. One was red, one was blue, and they sort of trundled around, and that's what that robot kind of reminded me of. Very nice though, and I did like the design of it. And it was animated really well. You get to see the wheel in space, and it for the first time I actually saw that, and it wasn't the model, it was the animation, and they'd actually animated it in sort of. It kind of looked like sort of. I don't know. It scale wise, I would say I put on about sort of the same sort of scale as sort of Deep Space Nine. It looked absolutely bloody massive. Quarks or crotons? Well, it wasn't crotons, was it? Crotons were those square block ones that just sort of went like that and like that.
If anything, it was a little bit like the reminded me of the power droid from the original Star Wars, 77 Star Wars.
It was sort of like that square boxy one with the 2 feet under it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it had those two. It was kind of a combination between that and remember some of the crack designs for RoboCop 2 in the movie.
Yeah.
It was kind of a mix and all that, but it kind of worked for it though. Let's see if there's an image of it. Actually, let's see if we can. So I'm looking at the actual robot itself, the actual prop that they used, and the animation is very faithful to the robot. If I open up this in a new tab, and I'll screen share. Okay, here we go. There it is. No, the one in the animation looked a little bit taller in terms of when he was walking through the doors. But as for the animation, it actually did look pretty faithful to that design.
Yeah, it did.
Let's just have a look. If we go back, let's close that because there is. So yeah, there has to be. I mean, if this is the full, if they're doing the full new space animation. It's interesting, but I mean, I tell you the other thing as well was to see the actual corridors and everything from Wheel in Space. The actual style was actually really nice. Can I do this without cocking things up? I don't know.
We will find out.
Yeah, there is only one way to find out. So, yeah, the character designs that they did for it looked amazing as well for Macro Terra. You know, you could tell who everybody was. And even the way they directed, particularly like the character of Ola, he just had this sort of bullyish attitude. I'd be getting into real obscurity stuff here. Mickey Mouse, what are you doing? Oh, that's a shame. I wonder if there is a trailer. No. No, but that robot is quite faithful to how it was. I mean, that's interesting because like this is one of those sort of missing episodes. And look at that set design, man. Let's have a. I mean, that's for Doctor Who. That's pretty snazzy.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's more than just tinfoil for a change.
Oh yeah. God, do you have to bring up Twin Dilemma? God. Yeah, I mean it's just. Let me just shuffle this over. Oh, what have I done? Please tell me I'm just close things. No, there we are. It's okay. Things are still running, I hope.
Right, I've just gone onto opened a different tab up in YouTube.
Yes.
And I typed in Wheel in Space animation.
Yes.
And it just says Who Universe News Report 2018, episode 59, The Wheel in Space animation confirmed. Obviously, I haven't watched that video, but if that video is true, it's from 5 months ago. So if that's true, then it looks like we are going to get it.
I am about to. No, that's the Well in Space.
That's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Wheel in Space, let's have a look here. Shopping, and I can buy a Decathlon V Twin 12-inch bike for $179.99. That is not the Wheel in Space I was looking for. Wheel in Space. What have we got here? Doctor Who, The Wheel in Space. That's just the episode that's with the telesnaps. So yeah, I mean, if it is coming out, it's going to be, you know, a while. But I mean, to put it on the Macro Terra Blu-ray as a teaser, oh, they got me interested. They got me very interested. But also as well, it's worth pointing out that one of the things that they also do on the Macro Terra Blu-ray, and why I think it makes it a really quality Blu-ray, is that they also give you episodes that have been reconstructed from telesnaps, and they've actually got all those on there as well. So, and you've got the 1992 audio on there as well.
Yeah, with Colin Baker doing the narration.
Yeah, and you've got the again we mentioned the some of the behind the scenes stuff. And you've got the other version in black and white on the Macro Terra as well. There's so much stuff to get through. And there's the audio commentary as well. So literally, you could spend most of a day just going through that Blu-ray. I mean, they took my money as fast as I could give it to them, and I wasn't disappointed by what I bought. How much of the Blu-ray have you watched, Chris?
I've watched the main colour feature.
Yeah.
I had a quick look at the black and white. I had a quick look at the reconstructions. I had a quick listen to the audio. Mm-hmm. I watched the behind the scenes with the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and the Dalek and the Macra.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to any audio commentaries, but I've pretty much spent yesterday evening going through it all.
It's pretty. Oh, it's good though, isn't it?
Oh, it's brilliant. It's definitely for what was it, 18 quid? For 18 quid, there's a lot of stuff on there. I mean, I think if you add all the features together and you add the two different versions of the Macra Terror, you're probably getting 8 hours worth of stuff at least.
Oh yeah, easily, absolutely easily. I mean, it's not only that though. I mean, like again, one of the things I've been banging on about with one of the problems I've got with a lot of how they do reconstructions is that they do stick really faithfully to how it was done, and they try to recreate the episode as it was, and they need to stop doing that, because the second they stop doing that, for almost any reconstruction, it's always gotten better. I mean, just as a, I mean, if you haven't seen it, it's well worth getting Sharda on the animation on Blu-ray, because Sharda's great.
I've only got the original one with Tom Baker filling in the blanks.
Oh my god! Oh, good grief! Get the animation on Blu-ray. It is so good. Sharda has done really, really well, but I don't think it's quite on the same level as Macra Terror, but it is good. It's very good. And I mean, where else? I mean, probably for me, it's not an animation, but it's probably, as far as I'm concerned, the best special edition Doctor Who's ever done, and probably the best example of how you should do a special edition is Day of the Daleks. Day of the Daleks is unbelievable. If you haven't seen Day of the Daleks, have you got Day of the Daleks special edition?
I'll just check. I haven't got it on paid for.
Yeah.
So I've probably only got the old one. Hang on, let me have a look.
So, so what's really good with the special edition of Day of the Daleks is they give you the original version as it was broadcast, but then they give you the special edition version. And what is incredible about the special edition version is that all the things that they couldn't do, it was in the script, but they couldn't do because of limitations, they ended up doing. They went back. They actually went back with a 16mm camera, got extra Daleks, got the location, they reshot stuff, and then they used modern visual effects and put the damn thing back together. And even to the point whereby there's a scene, and one of the best examples of how subtle they were with the effects in places is that there is a scene whereby Ogrons are chased. Unit are chasing this Ogron, and they come under fire, and they turn around with their guns and they shoot in, and there's a strafe of bullets going up the soil, and it's like doof, 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 and you can see, and that wasn't in the original. And they put in these squibs that's just like strafing up the dirt, and when the Daleks attack the house, you know, they fire in these beams, and there's literally blows the doors open, and these beams are going shooting past the Doctor. It's just really incredibly well put together. And like I said, the fact that they got new Daleks, like there's the saucers flying around the skyscrapers. Yeah, I mean it's all good, but they redo the time tunnel effect, and they redo, like I said, this house comes under fire. In the script, it says it comes under fire by an army of Daleks, and what they were able to execute was one Dalek coming down a field with two Ogrons walking by the side of it. Well, in this new version, because they've got a 16mm camera and Daleks, they went to the people who had Daleks, and they just went, "Can you sort of attack?" And that's what they did, and it changes the episode. But what's really, really good about it is because they give you the original version, they can do whatever the hell they like with the special edition one, and they do, and it's fan-pissing-tastic. It's probably it's what George Lucas did wrong with Star Wars. That's what I could say about the Day of the Daleks. The special edition is absolutely amazing. The first time I saw it, it was like, I am loving this. This is not what I was expecting.
I'll have to give it a look. See, I've only got the original broadcast.
Oh God,
story.
Man, they do stuff. Like I said, they went to the actual. So they actually go back to the original location, this big mansion, and they refilm all shots that were because, like I said, because they were using the original cameras as well. Everything ties in. Everything looks exactly as it should, and the footage is just gorgeous. And like I said, they get people who've built period Daleks, and they get them to sort of attack this mansion, and it's fantastic. It is, and of course they slip into the future. They got these. Oh, this is one bit as well whereby the Doctor's lying on the bed, and the Daleks are sort of interrogating him. And when they do it, they got this big screen above, and it's got his sort of the Doctor, and then he shows him as Patrick Troughton, and shows him as William Hartnell. When they do that, they've remapped. They've got these shots, the same shots, and they've remapped it and digitally tracked it, so that it doesn't actually. Because before they just sort of cut out the background and they was doing this, but no, they've cut it out and they've digitally tracked it, so it's locked to the frame. Oh, it's good. I mean, I've never stood up and applauded a DVD before, but I give that one a bloody salute as well. It was well done. So yeah, if you are in the market for a really good, well done special edition Doctor Who DVD, Day of the Daleks is mind blowing.
You're just trying to make me empty my bank account now, aren't you?
I promise you, right? I am not recommending something to you that I genuinely. There are Doctor Who DVDs I can take or leave, right? But if I was going to say to you, here's a good example. If I here's how I would put it to you. The other day, I purchased Terminator 2 in 3D, right? Because it's a great 3D Blu-ray, right? Terminator 2 in 3D is spectacular. I would not be recommending somebody buys Terminator 2 in 3D if I didn't think it was one of the best movies ever made. And it's the same thing with Doctor Who. I'm not going to recommend you get... I wouldn't recommend you get Castrovalva. You don't bother with it. You can skip that one. Just pretend you know, on Time Flight. You know, don't worry about it. But Day of the Dalek Special Edition, holy crap! DVD is $6.99. I mean, I would buy that, and I've already got it.
Yeah, thanks, Ian. Nice one.
I will guarantee you, right? I will absolutely guarantee you. If you sit down and you watch the special edition, don't watch the original because you'll have a comparison in your head, right? Don't watch the original. Watch the original after you've watched the special edition one. Sit down, get it, put it in, watch the special edition one, and then go, wow. That's the only thing. Because the thing is, if there are effects in Day of the Daleks that if you don't know, you'll never guess they were effects. You'll assume that they were there from the get-go. And that's the way to look at it. Because if you only have a look at what they changed afterwards. And when you need to do that, when you need to look afterwards to see what it was that they changed, that's when you know they've done a bloody amazing job. Yeah, 4.89 used. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of been this evening, really. It's now at 10:30. We can still keep going for a bit. But yeah, that's where we're at with Doctor Who. Really, we've just covered Love the Time Vortex, Magnetron. Yeah. They do so many good things. So many good things. Good choices of location. Good remastering. Because that's the other thing as well. They start off with a remastering. So both the classic and the special edition one are remastered. So they just washed. They just washed, clean, brand new prints. Off you go. But when they special editioned it, they special editioned it. They made it an edition that was special. But yeah, this evening has been the 11th hour, which we've got past, and we've ended up talking about a lot more Doctor Who than we were expecting. So yeah, I think we need to give Matt Smith a bit more due right now, because we kind of glossed over him and we've already skipped to other Doctors. What do you think of Matt Smith's run overall?
He did take a bit of getting used to. I don't know if it's because he was young or because he's so spider-like with his arms and legs and that.
Yeah.
But, I can't remember the name of the episode, but there's an episode where he gives a speech and there's a little girl singing, and they're singing to some. It's like loads of. Possibly.
When he's talking to the god, and it's this big ball, this star.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
that speech and the way that Matt Smith performs it was a spectacular. It was brilliant, and that's probably when I thought, yeah, he definitely is. It took a while to get used to him for me. So
Matt Smith's run for me has a couple of my favourite Doctor Who episodes. And it was small. It's small things, right? But my favourite Matt Smith episode is probably The Doctor's Wife. Where you've got Saran Jones, who plays Idris, who absorbs the soul of the TARDIS, and there's so many good little things that I like in that episode. The first thing I liked was when they're in the middle of deep space and they get the knock on the TARDIS door, where it's like, when he opens the door, this little white box floats in. And it's like, I haven't seen one of those since Patrick Troughton. It's like, that's such a good callback. I've got mail. Yeah, so that's an amazing episode, The Doctor's Wife, and the performance at the end, like where he's in tears, where the TARDIS is like, I just wanted to say hello, Doctor. I'm so very pleased to meet you. Yeah, I mean, brilliant episode. Then you got the whole Good Man Goes to War, which is, for an action story for Doctor Who, it done a good job. You've also got the downside of that then, which is, of course, Let's Kill Hitler, which wasn't as best received. I'm trying to think of the worst Matt Smith episode. I don't know. What would you say was probably the Matt Smith's weakest episode?
Well, before I say that, I'm going to say, you pair of bastards, I've just ordered Day of the Daleks.
You won't regret it, provided that you've ordered the special edition.
The special edition, well, it said disc 2 is a special edition, $6.99 on DVD. I mean, who can sniff at that?
Yeah. Well, look, if it's the special edition, you'll know it's the special edition. Trust me.
Yeah. Right, Matt Smith.
Worst episode.
Worst episode of Matt Smith. Well, I wasn't over keen on the Lodger from that series. That episode, I thought was pretty poor. I'm just trying to think of all his episodes now, because he had quite a lot of good episodes.
He does. He has so many good episodes. I mean, I would say he has weaker episodes like Curse of the Black Spot.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
What's the? Wait. Oh God. The one with the box, Power of Three. One with the boxes.
Yeah. So is it the new Flesh one? I didn't think that much of that one either.
I didn't mind. I don't mind Rebel Flash. Nightmare in Silver. Oh God. Do you know I have good things and bad things to say about Nightmare in Silver. So the good things are I like the Cybermen's ability to evolve. I like that when they keep updating, they keep upgrading all the time. The problem I have with it is you've got these kids that are really pointless in it. The Clara keeps getting shuffled around. The Cybermen become Iron Man. They all look like they were made by Tony Stark. That's not the Cybermen. That's not my Cybermen anyway. And again, the other problem with the modern Cybermen is that because of the cost, what it costs to make the outfits, no Cyberman can be taller than 5'6" because they can't fit in the outfit.
That's pretty poor, isn't it? When you consider how imposing the Cybermen are.
Well, when you consider that the cyber controller was 7 foot tall, I mean, you know, they were all the Cybermen were all, you know, somewhere between 6'10" and 7 foot in the classic series. If you look at like Tomb of the Cybermen and all that, you know, they were all huge. I mean, even the cyber controller, cyber leader, I should say, from Tomb of the Cybermen comes back. We were talking about this the other day. Michael, oh God, my brain's fudged. But he plays the cyber leader in a later episode as well, and he's huge. He's a monster of a guy. And they've always been massive. They physically dominate over people. It was a Tuborg. Again, I don't mind the fact that they keep updating, they keep upgrading all the time. I don't mind that. What I didn't like was the fact that, because here's the interesting thing: if you took a Cyberman that could continually upgrade, that could continue every time you attacked it, it could come up with a new defense, or it could come up with a new way to get around it. You would eventually end up with this really seriously difficult villain. It's kind of the Superman Doomsday kind of thing. Every time you beat it, it comes back stronger. That's an interesting idea, but they played it out wrong. Again, I didn't like the design on them. They were and unfortunately, I also happen to know the guy who actually designed those, at least the helmets anyway. Yeah, and the helmets were sort of like the prettiest thing about them. But then you've got a problem, because who wants a pretty Cyberman? And it goes to show when you see the Cybermen from World Enough in Time, whereby they just go back and use the 10th planet design, and it's just like, Jesus, those are creepy. Did you ever?
Yeah, they're much better.
Did you ever read the Doctor Who Next Gen crossover Borg and Cyberman? I didn't, but I did see the fan trailer somebody made of it, which was they pretty much took the comic book and then turned it into a fan trailer. That's also available on YouTube. It's done pretty well as well. There's this little bit whereby they take the snippet from the Next Generation, whereby Worf's telling Picard to move over to the left a little bit, and when he does it, the TARDIS just lands where he was standing. And it's just like that's cool. That's clever. And then of course they take the bit, where Amy's in the Pandorica and she's just sitting in the chair, and somebody took their time and rotoscoped her and actually put it in a Borg alcove. And that was done well as well. So yeah, Nightmare Silver has ups and downs.
I don't want to pick on Chris Chibnall or anything,
Yeah.
but Dinosaurs on a Spaceship was pretty shit as well.
Yeah, I mentioned Power of Three, and Power of Three was Chibnall as well.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, what I don't like with that episode, and this is the massive gripe, is that he goes the entire episode trying to work out what these bloody things are, and then the end of the episode is he walks onto the spaceship, pulls out his sonic screwdriver, points it at the screen, waves it around a bit, and walks off, and the ship blows up. And it's like, that can't be the solve to the episode. You can't make it. You can't just expel the Armus and walk off. And that was the end of the episode. And then you had this guy that looked like a cross between. He sort of looked somewhere between Emperor Palpatine and Hellraiser. Yeah.
I think Dinosaurs on a Spaceship can probably summed up by one sentence on the Wikipedia page, which says, Dinosaurs on a Spaceship was conceived to be a fun episode based on a suggestion from the special effects teams about incorporating dinosaurs into Doctor Who. That's not a point to write a story from.
Look, this has happened plenty of times whereby actors have had suggestions for things. Sometimes it can work out well because John Knoll had the idea for Rogue One, the special effects guy, and that worked out well. But it was a good idea. Power 3 finishes also her heart attack survived. Yeah.
Rogue One is great, but I remember us. I've got like family members that are big Star Wars fans, and I'd said that I'd seen it, and one of them said to me, "Well, don't give me any spoilers." And I was like,
"Oh God, no!" But I mean, like Power 3 had these like they had hospital attendants that had these like weird sort of cone face muzzles. I tell you, it's easier if I just share. If I screen share, you can see what we're talking about here. So these guys,
they certainly look creepy enough,
but there was no explanation behind them. That's as much of an explanation as you got. They had that for a face. So yeah, that's great. But then if let me just do this. So, and even these things, I was looking into how the hell they made these cubes do that, and I still can't figure the bugger out. And so that's clever. So there's a lot of clever stuff that they put into the episode. And there's the villain. There he is. There's Hellraiser Palpatine.
With a hint of bull.
I mean, but he was just defeated by, I'm just going to point the sonic screwdriver at the monitor now, and then we're going to walk off. And then it ends. And that's it. Yeah, that's pretty limp. As an episode goes. Let me scroll down. And come back over here. Hey, there we go. I'm back in the room. I've done something. Where is... I've lost the comment section. Oh, good. How have I done that? Very successfully. And it's back again. Wasn't he a pain to act with? Who's that? Who's a pain to act with? The bad guy, the villain. I have no idea. I generally I try. In terms of if you're talking about bad episodes of Matt Smith's run, Curse of the Black Spot doesn't do it for me. What's the other one with James Corden.
Oh, it's the one with a baby in it, isn't it?
Yeah, with Stormageddon.
Oh, there's a question.
Oh god, with the crashed Cyberman spaceship underneath the, and they defeat the Cybermen with love. Oh god.
I'll tell you, I have a stable Wikipedia.
Yeah.
11th where's these episodes? Which series? Is that 7?
Yes.
Let's find out.
The first one was where he stayed in the house, wasn't it? Closing time. Thank you very much, Ian. Yes,
he's got a better Wikipedia than I have, so I can get there quick enough. But yeah, closing time.
Yeah, I mean that's I didn't really care for closing time. It was okay. Again, nice callbacks whereby they had sort of references to Amy and Rory. But the fact that it was an episode that was about you can defeat the Cybermen by using nothing more than love was a bit. Again, they cut the nuts off the Cybermen, and this was the start of it. It took until Peter Capaldi before they really cut the nuts off him, whereby even the dead didn't have to be a Cyberman if it didn't want to be.
I think they redeemed themselves though in the last series episode though with even though they spoiled everything in the trailer.
Yeah,
those when you saw the original Cybermen again, I thought that was good.
But so yeah, Night Terrors, more love. Look, yes. But if you're talking about my opinion of what happened to the Cybermen and in general in Doctor Who, it spiraled down after Day of the Doctor. It was like Moffat had just gone, I'm done. I have no more Who in me. And then he fell off a cliff with Series 8. Just completely off a cliff.
I mean, to be honest with you, I think the Cybermen started spiraling downwards in the 80s when you had the cyber controller rubbing his hands there and going, excellent, like Mr. Burns.
No, look, I can sit through Silver Nemesis, right? But the thing is, the Cybermen, oh god, I mean, like, again, Attack of the Cybermen is such a good episode with Colin Baker. That is a really, really good episode, and properly violent as well. But yeah, it takes to you get a Silver Nemesis, and even then they're being sort of very hench in terms of their villainy. They still feel dangerous. Whereas, what's the point of a Cyberman if all you've got to do is weep and you can beat one? I wasn't overly fond of the God Complex as well. It still has some creepy stuff in it, but I always wanted to know what was behind door number 11. I always assumed he was the first Doctor. Just because this is the only person I would look down on the Doctor disapprovingly.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah, the first Doctor would never look approvingly of his behaviour. And it kind of shows then in Twice Upon a Time, really.
I like in is it the 50th anniversary where John Hurt's telling them off for the things they're saying and that.
Yeah,
got Alonzi, Geronimo, and oh god,
wobbly what? Put your strong screwdrivers down. What are you going to do? Assemble a cabinet at them? Brilliant line. Brilliant. So let's get into let's look at through. I'm just having a quick gander through Peter Capaldi's Series 8 because so deep breath, interesting start, then it goes downhill. Let's look at Heaven Sent though. Yeah, but again, let's go through some of these episodes here. Deep breath, interesting start, ups and downs, but interesting at the end where he's not sure whether he's a good man or not. Into the Dalek. Somebody had the idea for a level on a Doctor Who computer game, and Steve Moffat went, "I'm having that for an episode." Oh God, Robert of Sherwood. Nope. Listen, the best episode that they've done in Series 8, with it by a mile.
It's a very good episode.
Total by a mile. Time Heist, that's Ocean's 11 in space. Rip off. No good. The Caretaker introduces one interesting character which they never follow through on. Never mind. Kill the Moon. Kill my pissing TV.
That was utter. It was shit. No other word around it.
Terrible.
Let's say now. Yeah. During the whole time we're doing Carwin's TV Doctor Who night, and I'm a part of it. Let's not do that episode unless it's a major piss take special.
Yeah, no. It would just be an hour of me just swearing at the TV.
That actually might be worth watching.
Mummy on the Orient Express. Right now, here's my problem with Mummy on the Orient Express. Great idea, great concept. Love the fact that you've got this mummy that kills you within 60 seconds of you being able to see it. I love all that. Totally balls it up by setting it in space. Totally balls the entire thing. Because suddenly it went from being a mummy on the Orient Express to being an alien stuck in space. Then you got Flatline. Good bloody God. Several things I didn't like about this, but the first one was when Stephen Moffat was rubbing his hands together and going, and genuinely, he said, "We're going to do something with the TARDIS that's never been done before." Really? Are you serious? Have you seen the Time Meddler? Did you watch Logopolis? Are you a Doctor Who fan? I mean, what the bloody hell are you on about? So, it's the episode whereby he shrinks the TARDIS, the Doctor does nothing all episode, then steps out of the box at the end and goes, "Behold, be gone, I say to thee." And then they disappear. And you never see him again. And what? No. In the Forest of the Night, well, I just done as much as the Doctor did. God, in the Forest of the Night, this is just terrible. Terrible. Dark Water introduces the character of Missy. Do you know what was interesting about that? Was I was actually the street where they filmed that is just behind the Hilton in Cardiff, and for no reason that I can think of, they built a police a telephone box, a red telephone box. Don't know why. It wasn't featured in the episode at all. It just, maybe they were trying to fool people that were on watching it live. I remember getting the text message though that they were filming it, because I just went, "Dude, I have just seen this woman walking down the street on the set, and she's holding a 1970s Cyberman head." And I went, "Where?" And she went, "Yeah." And they showed me a photo, and I went, I'll be there soon. Just shrank the external dimensions. Forest was the worst. Yeah, well, Forest done nothing. Forest of the Night was just done nothing at all. Absolutely nothing at all. Terrible episode.
That was a big magic wand episode, wasn't it?
Well, they didn't even do that. The Doctor literally said nothing. Like there's this forest, and all of a sudden there's not this forest. And then you got, oh God, so Dark Water, where we introduced the fact that the Cybermen are no longer are part of the dead. Had a lot of complaints that episode. A lot of complaints because if you remember this, and I remember this because this episode came out. I want to say it came out 6 months after my father had passed away, and this episode actually was at the end of the episode. It had this whole bit whereby he was telling people, "Don't cremate me," because they could feel the pain after they had died. And I mean, I didn't like that myself, and it was still fresh in my head. You know, my father had passed away 6 months earlier, and he'd been cremated. And so when that episode came out, it was just like, I understand. I know it's just a story. I know it's just Doctor Who, but I certainly do understand the animosity towards it. And then you get Death in Heaven, then, which not only buggers up the Cybermen, but decides to piss all over the legacy of Nicholas Courtney as well.
Yeah, it's true. And also, I was hoping when come out that Missy was actually the latest incarnation of the Rani. I was quite shocked when it was the Master.
I don't know if I was shocked that it was the Master, but I mean, the fact that she kept walking around. No, I tell you what, right. So my first inkling of who Missy was, because she had run throughout the entire series, was she always kept referring to herself as the Doctor's boyfriend, or the Doctor was her boyfriend. And I thought at the start of it that she was actually going to be an incarnation of death. And I was thinking that if that's the way they're going, I'm really going to enjoy the way that this is going to end. That, you know, if Death considers the Doctor her boyfriend, that this is going to be something rather interesting. And then, of course, it was like, oh, okay, it could be the Rani. And then, of course, it turned out to be the Master. And I'm not really bothered that it's the Master, but I think the Master's been overdone. And there are other more interesting characters out there than the Master. It's time that Missy and the Master had a break now. They don't want to bring the Master back at all. Nutty Susan or Romana. Do you know, they've been teasing Susan for forever. Even in the Capaldi series, whereby in the last one, which I really liked, whereby it was a bit more John Pertwee, which is what they should have done from day one, by the way. Series 10 is what they should have done from Deep Breath onwards, where it was in the university, he had his own room, the TARDIS had its own place. It was very reminiscent of how the TARDIS was and how the Doctor was working with UNIT in the Pertwee era. And of course, you pan across his desk, and he's got all these different sonics, and he's got a picture of River, and he's got a picture of Susan. So they've been teasing it all the time, and of course they give River her send off. So because obviously River's story finishes, not to spoil it too much, but River's spoilers. River's story ends in that story where the next step is for her to go off to the forest. For Forest of the Dead, or the library. You know what I'm on about.
I do.
Mad for being dumped on Earth. Well, no, she actually chose to leave. So I wouldn't exactly say that she would be mad for being dumped on Earth, because she chose to leave on, and she chose to go off with David. So
it'd be nice to see Carol Ann Ford come back and regenerate. But if they do that now in the current Who, the way it's been, she'll probably regenerate into someone like Joey Essex. I wish I was joking.
If I was going to bring back Susan, do you know, it's hard to think, but if I was going to bring back Susan, I would need to bring her back. The only way you could bring her back, really, is that somebody found out she was a Time Lord. That's the only way you could bring her back. Like there's, you know, she's outlived all the people that are around her. You know, because she was done in like 2153. You don't necessarily have to bring Caroline Ford back. You can. Is she a good enough actress? I mean, I haven't seen her in too much aside from Doctor Who. It's difficult. You can't really judge how. I mean, I assume she is because, as far as I'm concerned, when you see her in the unaired version or the pilot version of Unearthly Child, she's brilliant in that. Again,
she was pretty good in the Five Doctors as well.
Yeah, I mean, her character fell apart as the series went on when they just turned them into Scream Queens. But she started off very, very strong. So yeah, I mean, if I was going to bring her back, it would be the fact that somebody found out she was a Time Lord, and they've been conducting experiments, and you know they've taken her blood, and she's just there's Time Lord shit happening, and the Doctor's like, what is going on, and then finds out it's Susan. That would be my. That's how I would do it. Would she survive it? I don't know. But it would be interesting. It would be an interesting thing to have her have the character come back. I'm not necessarily enamored with it necessarily being the same actress, because it could be a younger actress. She might have already regenerated. We don't know. There's no reason for her to have animosity towards the Doctor, but there is reason for other people. If you're gonna bring her back, make somebody else the bad guy, and have. Because here's the thing: if you've got Susan, you've got blackmail material over the Doctor. You've got a hostage that the Doctor is. You've got leverage. If you've got Susan, you've got leverage, and that makes a powerful villain. Who you would have as the villain, I don't know. You need something that would know of Susan. I mean, the Daleks would. The Daleks would know of Susan. They've met her. So yeah, that's kind of how I would bring her into it. Is to use her as a reason to sort of almost summon the Doctor. I suppose what you said applies to Romana as well. I don't. Well, I mean, not so much with Romana, because Romana would be less leverage, because you know he likes Romana, but she's not family. Whereas Susan's being the Doctor's granddaughter, it is leverage. If you were to say, you know, if you don't do this, I'm going to kill this person, the Doctor will do it. This is probably one of the only few times where the Doctor would probably buckle and fold.
I'm surprised they haven't visited the whole Susan thing already, because you think about it, you had the Time War and you had Eccleston banging on about him being the last of the Time Lords and what have you, when he left Susan on Earth. If she is a time lady person, whatever the correct phrase is these days. I
mean, yeah, there are plenty of. I mean, look, I'm amazed that they haven't brought back Ace. I mean, of all the companions to bring back, like, there's a character out there with a story arc that hasn't finished, that we really don't know what happened to Ace. We know she was a strong companion. We know that she was determined. I mean, we're talking about somebody who beat the living shit out of a Dalek with her bare hands. I mean, you know, she accosted a Dalek. Not many people can say that.
The only issue I ever had with Ace was she was a teenager from the inner cities on the wrong side of the law. And she never swore.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's not a lot you could do with 1980s BBC One at 7 o'clock. So maybe the Daleks hinted, I think that's supposed to be hunted Susan though, as she wasn't hidden like the Master. See, look, there's an interesting story there with what Susan's life was. Because did she have children? You know, did she have children? Has she got grandkids of her own? Have they all grown up? Have they all died? Is she outliving who? I mean, what year is it?
Yeah. Well, that means they'd be part human on their father's side.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, but the interesting thing is though, where do you pick up the story? Because you pick it up in 2154, a year later, after she's been dropped off. Do you pick it up 200 years later? There's a massive, there is a huge, expansive gap here, where you can pick this story up at any point. You can pick it up in 3 different places if you like, 4 different places. You can start off in one, jump to another, or jump back. And I mean, there's a lot of leeway with somebody like Susan. With Romana, oh God, I mean, again, you know, she's, yeah, you could bring back Romana. Romana's very capable. Romana's a very capable Time Lord. So. And I don't see her being, you know, it's not like dropping Romana in the middle of nowhere is actually a problem for her. You know, she's very, she's very intelligent. Very, I mean, she's put the Doctor on the back foot a couple of times. So, I mean, if I'm going to bring back any Time Lord at all. It would be the Rani. Just because the concept of the Rani is a great concept. She's a scientist. She doesn't care about the consequences of her actions. She simply needs to know the answer. She's almost, you know, if the Master is the Joker, then the Rani is the Riddler. And you know, that's who she is. She is a person of scientific curiosity that is, it will carry out all the experiments and be damned with the consequences. And that makes for a very interesting. She is a Dr. Frankenstein, or what's the guy's name from Jurassic Park? The guy who invents the Jurassic Park. That's who the Rani is. Doesn't think about, not so much doesn't think about it, doesn't care about it. So yeah, I mean, she's one of the strongest characters to bring back, and an interesting character to bring back as well. It's great to bring back the big villains, to sort of, you know, the ones that we want to bring back that are pretty sort of deathy, but to bring back a character that actually makes you go, where's the moral high ground here? Where is the grey area in this? But the other good thing about bringing back the Rani as well is the fact that you don't have to tell a story that is allegorical of anything. There is no. I think one of the big problems in science fiction these days, and one of my hatreds of modern science fiction, is the fact that every damn sci-fi story that I've seen of the past 10 years now have all tried to be a moral compass for something. Have all tried to teach a lesson. I'm like, when the piss did this happen to science fiction? When did we stop? Like, I remember watching Quantum Leap, right? And Quantum Leap had great bloody episodes in it. It had fantastic episodes about, you know, dealing with mental problems and all this stuff. It also had episodes whereby he leaped into the body of a pregnant woman. And he was just trying to deal with that issue. Would the Rani still turn people into trees? But again, I mean, the Rani would do whatever the Rani wanted to. That's what's good about the character. the Rani doesn't have that moral compass. She's not. I mean, you know, she did it that one time because that was a part of an experiment that didn't work properly, and then it was like, oh, okay, well, this turns people into trees. Fine, fair enough. That's what it does. So the Rani is still seeking knowledge, but just doesn't give a toss about the consequences. Oh, this is going to burn our planet. Never mind. So yeah, I mean, there's so many things you could do with a character like that. So many things. You're talking about her. She is a Lex Luthor type character. She has all the knowledge and resources to build and create all these things, and is just really just curious about the results. Doesn't care about anything.
Which is why it would have been better if it was her in Dark Water rather than the Master. It fits the character better.
It kind of does, except for the fact that the Master does really have a history with the Cybermen, and that's really the only thing there, is that the Master does have a long history with the Cybermen. And sometimes it's for and sometimes it's against, so you know it's back and forth. But yeah, I mean, I would bring back the Rani as a villain. I mean, look, we watched it last week, the Christmas Invasion with the Sycorax. Bring them back. Why wouldn't? Well, if you've got a really successful this space voodoo tribe that you've got, and this was just one faction of them, Halovakor, I think they're called, the Halovakor faction of the Sycorax. So that's just one small tribe that had made a spaceship out of an asteroid and flown off. There's all other factions out there, loads of other factions, and use dark magic science as how they get around, how they do things. You know, these ones had blood control because that's all they had. That's what they had left. But you could do other factions that really use proper dark magic. It would be great. It would be good. I should be in charge of Doctor Who. Screw Chibnall. So I'm going to call it quits there now, because 8, 9, 10, 11. Master, just the Cybermen and 5 Darks, only previously. Did you mean Daleks? No, I mean, he had history with Cybermen. I mean, you know, not great history. I didn't say it was fantastic history, but there had been interactions. Yeah, it's now gone at 11 o'clock. I have to get up for work in the morning, unfortunately. So it's been a fun night.
As always.
Yeah, next week it's going to be Deep Breath. These weeks are flying by. Absolutely flying by. So yeah, next week we see the start of Peter Capaldi as the Doctor, dressed up as the magician. God, I don't know what to say. So, the only words that come to my mind when I think Peter Capaldi is the Doctor is missed opportunity.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, if we're talking about missed opportunities, you mentioned before that we should do Scream of the Sharka, which was Richard E. Grant.
Yep.
Richard E. Grant, it's great that he shows up as the Great Intelligence in Matt Smith's run. Should have been the Doctor after Paul McGann. I mean, the guy literally was the Doctor. He literally, the way he dressed in his day-to-day life, he was the Doctor, you know. He was great that he got to play the part in that one animated episode, which we will cover at some point. But yeah, I mean, it falls back then onto Peter Capaldi, who becomes the Doctor. Great choice for an actor, and to go in a completely opposite direction to Matt Smith, and to have this. I mean, I'm going to assume, right, that what happened with Peter Capaldi's run was probably the suits. That's what I'm going to say. That the suits turning around and saying, make this guy fun. He's too stern, he's too serious, make him fun. And it didn't work. It just didn't work. And then you get to Series 10, where you get Bill and the whole of Series 10 and Nardole. And holy Christ. I mean, let's have a look at that. I just want a quick pan and then I'm going to go. Standard episodes of Capaldi. Magician's Apprentice was interesting, which is familiar. Forget it. Oh God, Sleep No More. Sleep No More was so bad, I actually wrote Mark Gatiss and told him he was shit. And you shouldn't do that, but I was furious. So, yeah, it takes a while. It takes you ages to get to Heaven Sent. Which is the standard episode of Capaldi's run, easily. Yeah, and then you get through to Series 10, and Series 10, glorious season 10. Yeah, straight away through to the Doctor Falls, and then Twice Upon a Time, and that's where I'm going to leave that. So yeah, next week it's going to be Deep Breath, same time, same channel, same doctor time, same doctor. Does that work? I don't think it does. Yeah, 8 p.m. next Sunday for Deep Breath. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed it in the chat, Ian. I hope you had a good time. I know we were joined by Jacob as well earlier. So thanks to you. Hopefully we'll try to get this thing straightened out and you can join us in the Hangout. It worked once before. I don't know why it's not working now. Thank you, Chris, for joining me.
You are more than welcome, my friend.
Yeah, and we shall see you next week for Peter Capaldi in Deep Breath. Take care.
Shall look forward to it.